Call this meeting to order, the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners. It's now 4 o'clock or 1600 hours. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Current and the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the County Office Building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater Building in Northfield, and the County Clerk's Office in Mays Landing. We'll now have our opening prayer.
Lord God, we ask for your blessing on this meeting and all those assembled here. May our actions be righteous and kind, and may we always be mindful of our obligations to each other and to you. Amen.
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 Chairman, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence as we begin the meeting today to honor the over 2,403 servicemen and civilians who were killed in Pearl Harbor on December 7th, given this is coming up on Thursday.
Thank you. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. Please join with me in saluting the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Corsi is unable to attend today, and Commissioner Hayes will be attending virtually, but will be coming late. Alice,
Present.
Martino,
Here.
Patrick, here, Gatto,
Here.
Kern,
Here.
Parker,
Present.
Grizzly.
Here. Our first order of business, of course, is the minutes from our November 21st meeting. I will entertain a motion to adopt them as presented.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion on the minutes. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Okay. Anyone in the person that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and the town you reside in. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually, please type yes and the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You will be called upon to speak, and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside in. Our first item we have is a presentation by our Atlantic County's Utilities Authority by Matt Donofo, President. Matt, would you please come forward? I know you've given us a handout with some figures. If you'd like to please go over the highlights for us.
So thank you everyone for allowing us to come tonight. I apologize it didn't work out for the pre-meeting that typically held before this. If there's questions that happen to come to mind after this, feel free to reach out to us. We have our entire team here as well, just in case there's questions that maybe I'm not totally familiar with. And I'm going to try to respect your time and go through this in two fashions. So we have our solid waste and we have our wastewater. So there's package for each one of you. The left side should be your solid waste, and the right side should be your wastewater. Trying to carry the tradition of Brett Doty over the past 3 years, presenting not just here, but also to all the municipalities off the MUAs. So for about 14 meetings into 27 meetings that we have over the next 2 weeks before we formally adopt our budget at this point. But so far so good. So meeting again out of this 27. So we'll start on the left side, which is going to be the solid waste side of things. And one of the things that's not in here that we go through with each one of the towns is a report card. So we do an individual report card for each one of the towns. We're going through that just to kind of show where they're at with their tonnage, whether it's recycling, yard waste, or MSW, and then where we kind of project them to be for the rest of the year and then going into 2024. The question always is what are our rates going to be like? So on the solid waste side, we're proposing a 3.5% rate increase on our municipal tip fee. That'll bring our rate from 76.35 to 79.02. This is, and I'll go through each one of these items. You should have the detailed budget sheet, but just to put in perspective, this is the lowest tip fee in the state continually. Even with each one of the counties, the 21 counties in New Jersey, not increasing, which they are this year, we're still at the lowest. That is the municipal rate that we offer each one of the municipalities. The HOA's goal has always been taxpayers, ratepayers, so charging municipalities the cheapest rate possible. So we'll get right to kind of our budget sheet. So that's the next sheet in your packet, which kind of shows, starting with our operational expenses. And if typically everybody likes to look at the right side, see where those percentages are, which is the highest percentage. The first two are not significantly, so overall, our expenses actually have gone down for the year. So has our revenue. So as we're seeing in the solid waste industry, not just in Atlantic County, but our surrounding counties, tonnage is starting to kind of settle out. We're starting to see a little bit of reduction. So we're anticipating either a flat next year or a reduction in some of those towns as far as the tonnage to the facility. So the first one off to the side there, 1%, 1.64%. It's a small percentage, but there's a bigger number. So it's a $4 million line item, and that is our support staff. Part of that is what every municipality is also dealing with is pension and healthcare benefits. So last year we were dealing with a 21% increase on the healthcare benefit side. We're still looking at another 7.5%. We were hopeful that Governor Murphy was going to provide some kind of relief for that, and they pulled back that reimbursement for the as well. And then we're actually increasing, they're increasing the rates again by 7.5%. We've been working with the county because we know you guys are a little bit ahead of us in this HRA plan. Again, looking for options to save money on the healthcare side of things. We're just kind of waiting and seeing how things progress with you guys. We're just behind you. We just approved the HRA at our last meeting. Pension is up 6%, and those two things really drive most of the increases. The third really biggest one is going to be capital costs. So everyone is concerned about capacity of our landfill. And I touted and beat the drum to say we have 5 years left, which is a significant amount of time. We just bid out our third phase of our wall. About 3 years ago, we had refined our design, got a third-party engineer do our estimate. It's got $13 million in the cost estimate. Last year, as we were preparing to bid that out, we got it fine-tuned because obviously 3 years ago, costs are certainly not what we're doing in this day and age. And the cost went to about $15 million. Bid it out, $18 million. So we went from 12 to 13 to 18 in a matter of about 3 years. Fortunately, we do have those reserves. We're pulling a significant amount of money out of our reserves to pay for that funding. And we're trying to kind of replenish those as we kind of move forward. One of the other notes on this on the expense side is there's a reduction in expense because our contract in Cumberland County with Vineland expires at the end of this month. So there's two things there that are happening. There's our expense side is going down and our revenue side is going down. So our revenue is going down $2.5 million from the revenue we're generating from the contract. And the expense side isn't going down quite as much because we have other expenses in our organization that are going up. The plus side of that contract was we paid for 11 new trucks. They're 5 years old. Atlantic County is 11 new trucks. They're paid for. And that's if you look down at the debt service capital lease, you'll see an increase of 33%. So we paid that lease off with that revenue on that contract. And now we have trucks, 11 new trucks that are 5 years old that have about a lifespan of 10 to 12 years. So it kind of works out in the end for us. Again, on the capital side of things, we're able to not have to worry about turning over so many trucks as years kind of come forward. Another kind of thing to note.
So Matt, so you're not decommissioning anything in your fleet, selling any assets off as a result of the contract?
Correct. We'll actually just replenish ours. So there's several trucks in our fleet that are due to be turned over.
Okay, so you just won't buy them?
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
got it.
Instead of buying, especially like in 2012, we started to convert over to CNG. We got a lot of grant money for about 10 trucks. So those 10 trucks are now 12, 13 years old now. They're due to be turned over. So instead of buying 10 new trucks, we're able to turn over trucks that move in. So. The other thing that's coming down is the interest expense. So that's really due because we're pulling so much money out of reserves, we're not seeing that interest expense go from reserves. And then the other part on the revenue side, you're seeing a reduction in collection revenue from that contract. Also interest earnings, because the same thing, we're pulling out a significant amount of money from our reserves, so we're not earning on our money on the solid waste side, I think, because there's a lot less money in that reserve account to earn that, those interest earnings. And then the tip fee overall, on the revenue, again, we're going up 3.5%, but on the revenue side, because of some of the reductions in what we're seeing in tonnage, is only going up about 2.57%. The last thing there is the unrestricted net assets, that's $450,000, so we'll see that on the wastewater side, we'll also see that on the solid waste side, so that's, this portion is the $495,000 that goes to the NARTP and ACEA organizations to help fund those initiatives within them. So that's been a contract for about 9 years now. Several times. So I'm gonna stop there for a second to make sure you don't have any questions on any details of the project.
Yeah, can you remind us what the increase was last year? I feel like I remember it was like double digits
It's
percentage.
11%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it 11 and 18?
11, eight on the wastewater,
Okay.
11 on the solid. waste.
Okay. So better this, it's a
Yeah,
better,
and, you know, put it in perspective,
bad
Cumberland County did
increase.
a 12% increase last year. So that's one of the other sheets that are here that we can kind of walk through and kind of see where some of the other counties are. So that's this one that's.
I have a question that I've always wondered and never asked. So this says 2023 budget, 2024 budget. We're comparing budget to budget, not new budget to actual forecast. Like, how does the 2023 budget compare with the actual revenue and expense?
That are coming in. So our revenue side is pretty close to where we're at. I think that Linda kind of explained that, we provide you with that information, but
Yeah, this particular report, Karen, reflects budget, 23 budget as compared to 24 budget. We
Right,
do have other reports, internal reports, where we do take a look at 6 months, 12 months. What are actuals actually looking like compared to our budget?
well, I think that's important information for people to have. I've never seen really budget to budget when going for an approval, because people want to see how you did compared to your budget.
Right.
Right? I think that should be a piece of this package, really.
yeah.
sure, I mean, we can add it. I mean,
Great
for 33 years, they've never added it, but we can certainly, it doesn't mean we can't
It's
change.
been
it
6
now.
years, I haven't asked the question.
Considering we're not, through the year, I mean, I guess we could do like a 9-month, if that would, be helpful.
Well, I think what you
Yeah, you
do
could
is
do
you
9
take your
plus
9
3.
months and then you forecast what the other 3 months are gonna be to have a forecasted actual revenue and expense
Yeah,
to compare with your 12-month budget.
That's the information you can share with.
Great.
Yeah. Some of those numbers are, difficult to estimate too, based on when those revenues come in. and all.
Well, that's why it's
Kind of
called
got
an
6
estimate.
months. Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay,
We can share our audit as well. It has really detailed schedules in there. where it
right,
compares the budget
that's
to
different.
yeah. I
Budget
think we-
versus actual, I think, is what we're
But
looking
it's
for,
a
right?
comparative with the budget, have schedules in our audit that shows the budget compared to actual.
Right, but when does that come out? The year end is December 31st. It doesn't come out till March or April, right? This is now. This is in
Yeah.
December. We should have something like that.
Certainly provide that information for you. Not wanting to get really share with you, so. Any other questions on this sheet here? So, tip fee map, so this is really 2023 numbers, we have some updates, kind of like the famous map that we put together that actually DEP and a lot of other organizations asked for to do this survey internally. The yellow represents the counties, 14 to 21 counties in New Jersey that have waste flow, so Atlantic County being one of those. If you were to take all of these tip fees with the municipal rate and not increase them at all, and put our 3.5% increase on it, you would still see that we're the cheapest in the state. And the reason for that isn't because there's operational savings, double handling our waste. If you go to Cumberland, they don't have a transfer station. They take their trash right to the landfill. We are transporting our waste at nighttime up to the landfill, so we're double handling our waste. It's really the projects and innovation that we try to push forward in our organization. So on the solid waste side, we've had partnership with AI and our landfill gas energy, which has generated a significant amount of revenue and also a reduction in electricity costs to help us kind of stabilize and offset some of that stuff. We just broke ground. We appreciate Chairman Risley coming forward with groundbreaking of that, but that was our RNG project, which will start showing some potential revenue and probably a savings and revenue combo of about $1 million in 2025. So that's really a lot of the driving factor in kind of keeping some of these rates lower. Looking around in our area for who's doing what as far as rate increases from what we're surveying, Gloucester looks like they're about a 6.5%. Cumberland's at a 1%. They did 12% last year. Cape May does 2% across the board. So they're doing 2%, and 2% last year, 3, 40, 40. But we've won 0, we've won 0.5%, based off of really what our needs are. And then I think Salem is another 1%. But again, these tip fees are really close to where some rate is. One of the last things I wanted to show on the solid waste side is just, the last time I was here was talking about how the solid waste system is a system and not just one thing. It's not just MSW, it's not just yard waste, it's not just recycling, it's not just CND. It's a comprehensive system. So there's the cost of processing recyclables. This is real cost and not even all of the cost. This is what we're showing municipalities, and not really, it's more of an FYI for them to kind of say like, hey, this is just the cost the organization bearing. It's not always a cost. So 3 years ago it was a revenue. Some counties will actually share in this revenue. So they'll either do a share in the revenue, and then when things are an expense, they'll share in the expense. I don't think we're looking to do that, but it's just more of a awareness of where we're at. If you look on our budget sheet, the cost for this actually has gone down significantly. So we were about $89 a ton for 3 years. We just rebid this, contract expires at the end of this year, came down $20 a ton. So pretty significant savings on the side of recyclables. It's still a better deal than sticking it in the land. Right. Taking up airspace that is going to sit there for, and look where Clemens Park is. We've been closed for 33 years over there. That mountain has not gone down at all. That material just sits there. So it's valuable space that we're able to use. So it still makes sense that this product is being used and reutilized to tip this at $66. So again, just more of a conversation that we're having with somebody.
Mr. Chair, just a
Yes.
quick question, just general comment on recycling, Matt, like, what's going on today? Like, is there a market? Is there a better market?
So
Should we, like, I know we kind of were at a point, a few years ago where there wasn't a market, so it really wasn't in our best interest to tell people to make sure they recycle. So where are we in the recycling world these days?
So remember, recycling is a commodity, right? And a economic business cycle is 60 months. So about every 5 years, and you have Atlantic City, there's a rise and fall of Atlantic City every 5 years. And that's economics, again, as commodities go up and down. We've been through this roller coaster, at least since I've been with the organization for 16 years, for at least 3 times. So 08 was one of them. We were storing all our recyclables on site.
Yeah.
And then it started to come back, and then we were generating revenue. So you have the ebbs and flows of it. Right now, we are not fully at the bottom. We think we've hit there, at some point, maybe like a year or so ago. We think we're going to start to see some stuff come back, but it's a slow market to come back. What happened a few years ago with China and the National Sword, I keep saying, everybody's like, well, China doesn't want our material. What they don't want is they don't want our trash. There's a lot of misconceptions on what recycling is, what needs to be recycled, what can be recycled, what can't be recycled. And there's always been those rules, but nobody's ever enforced them. So if nobody enforces rules, nobody understands what they actually are. So I think at one point we were sending so much material to China that they said, you know what, we're not taking this anymore because it's your trash. And then it started to come back, we had to find other markets that didn't want this contamination. And now we have to follow the rules. The rules have always been there, So that's, I think, what we're dealing with a little bit is you have a downturn in the market, you have a lot of confusion because, again, our main source for where we were sending a lot of this stuff was China to dry it up. And now you have this kind of paradigm shift or tipping point, if you will. You're seeing a lot of investment in the US for a lot of these processing plants. You're seeing, ESG goals for a lot of corporations.
Yeah.
I keep saying, you look at your Sprite bottle, it's clear now. It's not clear because it's marketing. They actually prefer it to be green because they sell more when the bottle's green. It's clear because it's easier to recycle. So you're seeing corporations start to kind of change their habits, and you're seeing consumers start to force that upon the corporations to do that. So I think we're in this shift where we are still a little bit low, we are still experiencing a cost in recycling, but it's going to come back, and I think it's going to come back a lot stronger because that portfolio of diversifying, not just going all to China, is now going to be domestically available, and also you're going to have a lot of other markets overseas that are also looking for this material too. So I think we're out of the bottom, but I don't think we're really trending too far up to the top just yet.
Thank you.
So that answered. Solid waste, the only other thing that we're talking a little bit about with the town that I just wanted to kind of bring to your attention here is collection contracts and commercial pickups. So we have a lot of contracts for commercial pickups on recycling, and in the summertime, I'm sure everyone here has gotten phone calls that we didn't pick up yard waste, we didn't pick up this, or there was an issue with collection, and it's not unique to the ACWA. Everybody's dealing with labor shortages. It just seems to intensify in the summertime. One of the things we're looking at is how do we get better for next year? We can't put our rose-colored glasses on and pretend that next year we're going to have a better labor market, or we're going to have better luck with equipment not breaking down. Those are going to be realities we're dealing with. So how do we get more efficient? So we're talking to towns a little bit about some of the things that contracts have taken some liberties on as far as like extra pickups. So typically our recycling commercial is once a week, and there's certain businesses that need more than once a week. And we've always said yes. ACWA's always said yes. We'll service you until you're happy. And it's fine when it's one business, it's fine when it's two businesses, but when they start to add up and you have 40 businesses, that's a whole nother round. Not compensating for that. So we're trying to talk to the towns about how do we get better at that so that we're not suffering on that, which is one of those things that we're discussing. So I'm gonna move off from solid waste. If you guys are, I've already given you the pitch on landfill capacity, but I could probably talk for 2 hours on that.
I mean, we could probably do a
If you need
separate
that
update
information.
on that, Chairman.
You want an
at some
update?
point. Not today, but we should probably do a detailed update on
There
that.
is some really good movement on what we're doing, so.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
The next thing, we're gonna move over to the right side of your folder is gonna be the wastewater side. So the first sheet that we go through with each one of the towns is right on top, and it's our projected flow for 2023, kind of a true up of where we're at. We're talking to the town to say, hey, how are your flows, projection that we do this time of year, and that's what they budget for. And then there's some kind of true ups for charge for actual flows that they're receiving. You can see on the right side, there's some positive and some negative numbers. That's the true up that we have for each one of the towns. So if they were over on flows, they owe us some money. If they were under on flows, they get a credit. And that's applied to their Q1 2024 bill. And this is how it's been for 40 some years with the 14 municipalities. 14 municipalities are the ones listed on the map. Flip it over. This is our 2024 rate. We're looking at a 2% increase on this. So we had a 2% increase and 8% last year. Over the past 10 years cumulatively, our rate is up 2.84%. So last year when we were up 8% and proposing an 8% increase, in actuality, over the past 10 years, our cumulative rate had increased 0.8%, not even a single percent. And a lot of the towns, and I'll show the chart that kind of explains that, actually saw a decrease. Even with the 8% increase, saw a decrease in what their charge rate was, because the flow number is such a contributor to what they're actually paying. And Atlantic City is such a driver right now because they're 33% of our fleet. So when Atlantic City is doing well, the other towns, they're gobbling up most of that pie. The other towns are seeing the benefit of it. When COVID hit and the casinos had closed, or 2014, when we saw 4 closures in the casinos, that cost was then spread out across the other 13 municipalities that were our partners. So, and I'll kind of explain a little bit more into that. But so on the left side, or I'm sorry, on the right side is where we're kind of going through each one of the towns and what their user charge is. The next sheet is a little bit what I alluded to. So this is our rate history. This shows our percentages. So I know there was a big concern last year of the 8%. Most of the towns last year, 10 of the 14 municipalities with an 8% increase actually saw a reduction in their cost because of the percentage of flows that were reallocated. Looking at the past 10 years, 13 of the 14 municipalities actually had paid more in prior years than they're paying either in 2023 or proposed to pay in 2024. And you got to kind of say, well, how's that even possible? You can move the numbers. Atlantic City can do great. Atlantic City can do bad. How does that make sense? And that's this history right here. So 2017 with a double asterisk, 2021, there were reductions in our rate. Now, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as we know, none of the municipalities actually reduced their sewer rates. We reduced our rate by $1.5 million in 2017 and again in 2021. So $3 million over the course of about 7 years, we reduced our rate by $3 million. So when we hit that 8% or 5% a month in the year prior, everybody gets fixated. We're all municipal government. Everybody gets fixated on these percentages. It's not really looking at numbers. But again, like looking at what the actual dollars spent were. Most of the time, it was actually less than they had previously spent. We're just in Linwood, and in 2014, their 2014 rate compared to 2024 rate is $4,000 more. 10 years. 10 years ago, they paid $4,000 less than 10 years.
Now, those numbers have been remarkably flat over the years.
And again, it's a tribute to, whether you're on the win side or not, it saved us $9 million. Right? Our solar saved us over $4 million. That goes directly to our ratepayers and the taxpayers. So that has been, what we've kind of prided ourselves on, always looking for what is the next initiative that we can do. And there's a lot of investment that we're doing at our treatment facility. It was built and came online in 1978. So you can imagine 1978 technology versus 2023, be a little bit more efficient. So we're driving to try to get our electricity costs down, our natural gas costs down, where are our big cost centers. So this one is more of an FYI. This really kind of gives the history of the last 25 years. And like I said, those white columns really where you want to look for that center chart, looking at 24 projected, 2023 projected. You'll see if you compare the year prior, there's decreases. Those were 2023 where there's an 8% increase. You'll see 10 of those 14 municipalities paid less in 2023 than they did in 2022. And this all ties into, so remember, $3 million over 7 years we reduced our budget by. And that comes up here. It's kind of like your income statement rolling into your balance sheet, So we're rolling this right into this budget that we have right here. And I can go through everything, but I'll try to keep it as minimal as possible. I feel like I've already taken a lot of time right now. But salaries, benefits, and pension, those are continuing to increase. So again, the 7.5% on the healthcare benefits, 6% on the pension. The salaries, we have some employees that are on step programs. We're also proposing a 4% increase to our administration team. We are not going to move ahead with that resolution until we get direction from the county. So we're kind of waiting just to see if we're budgeted for that, just in case. We want to make sure we fall in line with where everybody else is in the county. So we're kind of holding off on that. Big one is chemicals. So in a 3-year contract, so we were paying 2020 prices for chemicals. Contract's up now. It's almost doubled for our sodium. The next big one is 28% increase. It's not a huge number, but it's still a big percentage. That's natural gas. So we bid that as a commodity. I think you guys have UGI on the resolution list right now under the co-op. So we're also using UGI. We're not using the co-op. We go out and bid. We have a consultant that helps us do that every 3 years. UGI was the incumbent. They actually won the bid, gave us a pretty good rate. We thought it was going to be higher. It wasn't as high, but it was still higher than 2020 cost of natural gas. We're in a 2-year fixed rate, and then the 3rd year is like a half a penny more. So to be able to get fixed rates in this volatile market when it comes to natural gas and energy, very difficult. 4 bidders, only one bid. The flat rate bid like 8%. If you went 5% over your allotment, you had to pay tariff. So that was part of that portion. Supplies and maintenance, a couple things at the plant that we're upgrading. There's some feeders, the power system that goes to our all of our buildings and equipment needs some upgrade. We also have a grant in there that we've got, EV tourism grant. So we're going to be installing 2 DC fast charge dual head chargers in front of our treatment facility. There's a little parking lot there that's accessible to the public. We got a grant for that. So the expense for that grant is in that line item. And then you'll see on the revenue side, there's a inverse side of it that will provide additional revenue for that. So that'll be open to the public and available. just as you're leaving Atlantic City or as you're just going in. Next one, contractual services. So we have a new member of our team here, Pete Mahaka, who is our wastewater director. We had a vacant position for about 2 years. Finding a licensed operator with an S4 is very, very difficult. So we finally found somebody in Ocean County. I've been here for about 6 or 7 months. It's helping us reduce a little bit of our consulting contracts.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Very fortunate to have Pete for the, and Joe is happy to have some help over the plant there too. So his hair wasn't that great a couple of years ago. The big number in that though really is our stack testing. So incinerator at our treatment facility, nobody knows to drive by that we're incinerating our sludge there because you won't see anything come out of that stack, and that's done by design. Every 3 years, by DEP rule and EPA, we have to do a stack test to make sure that all of our controls are working. That's to a tune of about $250,000. So I looked at the video last year of Rick doing this presentation. He's talking about how that number is going up because of the stack testing. When we don't need to do a stack test, we bring that number back down. So every 3 years, that number comes back. So it's going down for the next 2 years. Indirect operating expenses, 2 things there. So ash disposal. So our solid waste department gets charged by our wastewater department gets charged by our solid waste department to dispose of ash and then grit that they're cleaning out of tanks. There's also a small repair or significant repair to our backup truck, about $75,000 to $80,000. They'll bring it done. Moving down to county appropriation, that's the other 450, so 900,000 total. Interest expense and principal, and I'm hoping I'm going to get this right. So the interest expense is based off of a loan that we paid down. So last year we had payments on the principal, so now just like you're amortizing your mortgage, there's less interest expense on that, so that's been paid down. The principal side is part of the one loan was only one payment for the year, so a portion of the payment, so we have 2 full payments going into 2024. So that's why the principal is going up on some of these wastewater loans. Get it? All right, good. Finally, it took me 14 times to get that one right. And then just moving into our revenue, the big thing, so there's a 2% increase on that. Interest earnings, I know that was a topic last year. Years prior, Commissioner Grizzly can probably appreciate this, there was no earnings on interest or on your money, your both interest rates were so low. We had anticipated $1.6 million, and that was like, wow, that seems like a lot of money. We've actually earned more than that this year based off of the reserves, and we think that the interest rates are going to kind of continue to be at least pretty healthy, but we'll still be able to earn 1.6 while we can. So we're keeping that money in the market to earn that. That's what we're expecting for. Septic scum and sludge, we see a decrease there of about $200,000 to $250,000. That is Millville sludge. So our incinerator is a regional depot for Hamilton, Camden County, Cape May County is our big one, and Millville and a couple other smaller entities. Millville brought us, like I said, about $200,000 to $250,000 sludge. Cumberland County Improvement Authority with Synagro, a company that handles sludge, opened up a compost facility. As a host community, they get a pretty hefty discount. So they're going to there instead of our facility. The one thing that will probably hopefully bring that up, but we can't bank on it, is Camden County. Camden County's been having some equipment issues. They did a pretty significant investment into drying equipment for their sludge and having a lot of trouble. So they're sending us right now 3 cans of sludge every day, which is a pretty significant amount of revenue at the end of this year. So we just don't know if it's coming next week or if it's coming next month. So it's hard to really kind of anticipate what that's going to be. And then the last thing that I like to point out is the unrestricted net assets. And that number is up 150%. That is our reserves. So 450 of that comes out as the county appropriation. The other 1.5 is the fund balance, and that's been the past couple of years. And we go back to what is that, and that's this right here. So the $3 million that we've reduced our total operating costs by or charged to the towns was made up by reserves. And thought was, especially in 2021, when nobody was having COVID, let's give the town a break, reduce it by 1.5, and we'll try to slowly make it up with some rate increases. Nobody knew inflation was going to go through the roof. Supply chains were going to go through. The cost of everything was just going to continue to climb up and really eat away at all that. So we're still about $1.5 million in trying to catch up from that $3 million reduction we did over the course of 7 years. So that's where that 1.5 is really showing in unrestricted net assets. Now, the good news is we've never really had to tap this because anybody that's in municipal government knows that at the end of the year, you don't spend every single penny. There wasn't always the expense that you anticipated was going to happen, and there wasn't always the revenue. Camden County could come to fruition where it helps us with that offset. We've even talked about trying to create a separate fund, which is more of a rate stabilization. So the thought is maybe we'll just create a separate fund that we use as rate stabilization, so it's not coming out of reserves. But again, we've never really actually had to tap the reserves, but that's our fund balance in that. And then the last sheet I have, and you guys can ask me as many questions as you want, but I've taken up a lot of your time, is just, again, another map to show where rates are in our region. Again, the lowest in our region. We haven't done a full survey of the entire state. Camden's a little different. They bill each individual resident, so you can't get a per million gallon cost. But if everyone on this sheet was to reduce their rates by 2%, it'd still be, a lion's share below where they're at. Again, it's a tribute to just initiatives and things that we're trying to do to save ratepayers, taxpayers money, keep that rate as low as possible. I think I covered everything on that.
I thank you, Matt. Does anyone have any questions?
I just have an,
Yes.
this is an easy one. Okay. That $9 million in savings due to the wind farm, what time period was that?
That was from 2005, 2006. to now.
Until
It's about 18 years.
18 years, so like, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Just two things. So thanks for all the information. Apologize that the budget subcommittee couldn't get beforehand. We had two members who couldn't make it, last minute. I will say though, it wouldn't be of value for us. It's really not of value for us to have the subcommittee meeting right before this meeting because it doesn't give us a chance to digest it, ask follow-up questions, talk to our body before you guys come to actually do that presentation. So I know you said this is how things have been done for 33 years, but with you, I'm hoping we have some fresh perspective on different things and we can, change a couple of things. So I definitely would encourage us to, try to have those subcommittee meetings like at least a week before the meeting, and our budget subcommittee meetings are virtual. I know you guys wanted to do it in person. It's tough. We all work a day job.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna request on the record that we do them virtually, okay? And I also would love to see, I know you guys have always given us these worksheets, and I think for us, it's great detailed information. But for a public presentation, I'd love to see just a couple summary slides that while you're presenting, the public has something to see as well.
Yeah, we were just talking, I didn't realize that I could use, I was
Yeah,
going old
mhm.
school with like, Rick, here's the paper.
Yeah.
Signs with me,
Mhm.
but, plenty of paper and data, and as far as the meeting prior, absolutely, I mean.
Yeah.
It just got into we had so many things scheduled
Yeah,
already.
it
So
happens.
maybe we get it a little bit earlier next year, we
Mhm.
can do it, like one of the first meetings, and that way you guys have the information, we can digest it.
Yep.
And then that way, when I come here, at least a portion of the board has some information if they wanna ask other questions, and again, reach out to us at any point.
Yeah.
If something comes up where you're looking at, information saying, hey, can I, kind of like think Karen had asked for, can I
Yeah.
see a projection of what?
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
Absolutely not a problem.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you guys very much.
All right.
For your time tonight. Hopefully the rest of your agenda goes quicker. Thank you. A lot of information.
You don't have to stay.
Think they don't.
You got that man. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Moving on with our agenda. Okay. We have ordinance number 11. Second, final reading.
Ordinance changing the term of office for appointees to the Police Training Advisory Board, final readings.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Ordinance number 11. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes,
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 651.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the New Jersey Boardwalk Preservation Grant to be used for the Brigantine Promenade refurbishment project, funded amount $1,185,837.50. County cash match $62,412.50.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 652.
Amending resolution number 36 adopted on February 1st, 2022. A grant from the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 22 County Annual Transportation Plan to remove 5 projects and add 5 new projects. No additional cost.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Hearing none. Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 653.
Amending resolution number 45 adopted on February 7th, 2023. A grant from the New Jersey Juvenile Justice Commission for the State Community Partnership Grant and the Family Court Grant to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, Madam Clerk, please read 654.
Grant application to the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 24 local bridge fund program to be used for up to 5 bridge projects, amount not to exceed $2,393,144.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 655.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 24 County Aid Annual Transportation Plan, amount not to exceed $6,825,166.
Move.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 656.
Professional services agreement with Strategic Health Advisors Limited Liability Company for a county health assessment, county health improvement plan, and a county strategic plan, amount not to exceed $122,275.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Please read 657.
Professional services agreement with various nurses and nurse agencies for the provision of death pronouncements in Atlantic County, amount not to exceed $80,000.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 658.
Amending resolution number 605 adopted on November 1st, 2022, a professional services agreement with various consultants pursuant to the 2015 Bridge and Dam Engineering Services Pool to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 659.
Amending resolution number 604 adopted on November 1st, 2022, a professional services agreement with various consultants under the 2019 Dam and Transportation Infrastructure Pool to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion?
Mr. Chair, just have one
Yes.
question on this. I didn't see the prior year amount spent in our material. Like, do we exceed that 600,000? Do we get close to it?
You're talking about the amount of money we put in, do we actually spend the money?
Yeah,
We're usually pretty close to it, I mean, Doug is on, probably could give me the exact numbers. But we're usually pretty close to which we project the projects prior to actually putting the money in, so yes, we get very close.
Doug available?
I'm sorry.
Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, I do not have the exact numbers in front of me right now, but this is the total numbers for a lot of different projects, all our different inspection projects, all our design. So
I think I was ahead of myself on an item, so I reserved my question for a different,
Yes.
oh, okay,
sorry.
that's okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes,
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 660.
Amending resolution number 603 adopted on November 1st, 2022. Professional services agreement for various consultants under the 2020 Dam and Transportation Infrastructure Pool to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
move,
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
yes,
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 661.
Professional services agreement with various law firms for the provision of legal services, amount not to exceed $600,000.
move. Second,
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion?
this is the one I was asking a
Okay.
question. Sorry, I had my material in front of me ready for the question and
I
I
understand.
So there's no prior year amount spent in our material. That's what I was asking for legal services.
With this $600,000.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jimmy, I mean, you're here, Jimmy, this is your.
Yeah,
time to shine.
we didn't come close, we didn't come close to that. And I think it was a very minor amount, that we expended. Most of the stuff, as I said, we do in-house. What we spent on, I don't have that figure, I'm sorry, but it is a minor amount.
Okay,
Probably less than $50,000 for the year. You know,
so why do we allocate 600,000?
well, you know, if we have to go outside, for instance, we have a case, and you heard me talk about it, the matter at the jail, that jail case where we have had to hire several firms to defend the civil suit, which is in federal court. That's being stayed now. It's on stay pending the disposition of the criminal charges. And we agreed under the circumstances that we would reimburse the criminal defense attorneys who were involved in that case. So those are the type of things where we would could have greater expenditures.
So it could get high fast, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you need any more specific number, I'll get that
No,
for you. I apologize that I don't have it this
That's
evening.
fine. Thank you.
Anytime you're dealing with attorneys, it can get high fast.
Yeah. I get it.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Jim, is the casino suit that we have, is that outside of the 50,000?
What's that?
He's talking about the pilot.
The pilot program, is that outside of that?
Yes.
Because I think we've spent
Yes,
way
yes,
more than
Yeah,
50,000.
yeah, we have.
So
And that's
that's
still,
different legal fees.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
All right, any other discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes,
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 662.
Professional services agreement with various veterinarians and veterinary services for the provision of veterinary services at the Atlantic County Animal Shelter, amount not to exceed $52,000.
move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes,
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, we have some contracts. 663, please.
Bid contract with Reagan Incorporated to furnish and deliver fuel to participating members of the Atlantic County Cooperative amount not to exceed $7,894,161.75.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, I guess through you to Jerry. I'm looking at the regular unleaded gasoline. The price that they bid for the lowest bidder is $2.46. So, which is from Reagan's. Reagan's right now is, to the general public, is selling at $2.19. Is it smart that we're doing a 3-year contract on a high number like that? Or are we just hedging our bets that it isn't going to go up past, or it's going to go higher than 2.46 in the next, over the course of 3 years?
Well, I mean, look, our purchasing agent is on. I had a conversation with her about this particular,
It's a tough one.
she's on, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so yeah. Palm is on, right? So Palm, you wanna,
Yes, I am.
some more the conversation we had about this?
About the different gas prices. Basically, this contract is awarded on an upcharge. So the bid price is really 0.07 over whatever the port costs are. That number, the $2.46 is just for bidding purposes only and for getting a dollar figure only. Yes, currently the gas prices are $3.19. If we were to buy gas right now from Riggins, it would be $2.46. Next week, if the port costs change, it would be whatever that port cost is based, and we're adding up 0.7 cents per gallon. So the bid itself is really that 0.7 cents.
So it's more.
Changes. That's
So
market
it's
price.
market price 0.7.
Okay.
Bidding.
Yeah.
So wherever it is,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. Much better.
Okay. Good. Any other discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 664.
Bid contract with UPI Energy Services under the South Jersey Power Cooperative to provide natural gas to Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center and the Atlantic County Justice Facility, amount not to exceed $900,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 665.
Bid contract with OnSoft to provide community notification services, amount not to exceed $73,936.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 666.
Change order number 1, a contract with MJF Electrical Contracting Incorporated for generator replacement and new installation at Harbor Fields Youth Detention Center to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes. So my question is, when do we sign this when do we award this contract to them to put a generator in there? And when we did, was there a deadline that it needed to be done by?
So Chris is on. Chris, you there?
Yeah, there's a deadline that we put in the bid specifications. But right now, when ordering any new equipment, the lead times are so far out that it's hard to hold them to that time schedule because they are beholden to the manufacturer. So right now we have a delivery date for this generator on March 31st of 2024. So we're extending the contract so that work can be completed in that time frame.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, why are we giving them a 1-year extension? If March is the delivery date give them a 30 or 60 days past that. I mean, this is a company that's not even in New Jersey that's going to install this. There's a reason why we're ordering a generator that, and it's for a youth detention facility. You know, we're allowing them to just say, okay, if we want to wait until December 1st of next year to put it in, then that's okay by us.
They're still
I'm not
held,
with-
they're still held by the specifications on the contract. And the contract specifications are, they have a time to complete that. This extension is only for the contract term, so we can get all the closeout documents. And if there's any issues or any problems, that's the only reason why we extend it to the end of the year. Because we don't want to keep coming back to the commissioners to keep voting to extend contracts if it's very possible that it could get delayed again. Maybe, God forbid, something happened, because we've had stuff happen. God forbid the transportation of the generator falls off the truck and gets damaged. Then what do you do? Or gets in an accident on its way to the site.
Yes, Johnny.
This can't be the only generator that's being
that's
processed
why.
in the United States.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have
we
a
gotta
generator-
have, we gotta have it drop that date that says that they need to install it by a certain time. Not, keep extending deadlines all the time.
Commissioner Bertino.
Yeah, hey, Chris, one quick question. Did you have other bidders on the generator, or was it just one guy?
I think it was 2 or 3. But we're putting a generator in at Egg Harbor Township Library. So we have the same issue.
I understand. I'm just curious. I don't know if by extending the date, if you're changing the terms, if those other contractors would have liked to bid with that same window, maybe their prices would have been different, or they'd have been more competitive.
We wouldn't have known until they submitted that generator. They're submitting a generator that's coming from a manufacturer. And if that generator is approved by the architect or engineer, then that's who we're going to go with. And usually that selection is really based upon lead times. And right now, the lead time for that generator was the best that we could get from a manufacturer.
But they wouldn't know this when they filled out their bid packet, that they couldn't have something in the deadline in which the contract states.
You'd have to if you wouldn't take the contract.
I mean, I'm sure they inquired about it. I know we did. But again, until you get the submittal approved and get that purchase order over to that manufacturer, who knows in that time frame what other orders across the entire country are coming into that manufacturer. Nobody
Everybody
knows.
has that.
Right.
Every contractor has that.
It's just excuses.
I think if I can, just
Yes.
my 2 cents, and I've had this discussion before. I know when we do these contracts and we put out these specs and then we go change the back end of it and always allow people the opportunity, because this could happen and that could happen. It's kind of like they might think Atlantic County doesn't really mean what it says when it puts the bid out. I mean, once in a while, I know you guys are going by what the manufacturer deadlines are and is the piece available, but everybody's bidding on the same stuff. So I'd like to see teeth more in this with Atlantic County, because I've heard, you guys don't follow through on some of your contracts. So I'm just throwing it out there for you guys in purchasing, to take a look at that, and administration to be a little more strict sometimes with it.
I'd like to know who says we don't follow through on our contracts. If you can give me the names of those people, I'd like to go back and look at those contracts.
You'll always get a guy who didn't get the bid tell me the same thing, like that, and I know that, Jerry. I
get that all day. We don't do this, we don't do that.
I get it. I get it too. I don't call you and tell you that I heard that, because I take it in the same context. But also, as we're talking about it here, and I think what Commissioner Baus is talking to too, we're putting contracts out for so many months and then extending it. I just think, I know we've had the conversation. The teeth is a good thing sometimes. So maybe they'll tighten up the bid things. Maybe it won't. I don't know if another contractor's going to complain. I could have had the bid in. I could have given you a different price if you told me you had 9 more months to do it. I don't know that.
But we wouldn't have known that until you made For example, if I called the manufacturer today and asked him, that same manufacturer, I'd like this, a C55, generator. And he would tell me, I can get it to you in 3 months. And then I bid on the contract for 3 months. I then put my submittal into him and he tells me it's gonna take me 10 months. Then what do I do? I mean, that's what Chris is saying.
I understand. I understand where you're at with this one.
I don't know how you can get around that. Unless we do this from now on, every single contract we have that gets delayed, we'll come back to the board. So instead of having maybe, 30 resolutions, you'll have maybe 45 or 50 per session.
We don't mind.
Do that?
We don't mind.
All
Okay.
right, well, sure, we-
Okay,
all right?
any other discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes,
Yeah.
without 15 more resolutions coming.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 667.
Memorandum of Understanding with the City of Brigantine for the provision of nutrition, site management, and janitorial services at the Brigantine Congregated Senior Center, amount not to exceed $54,452.40.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Pagino. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 668.
Resolution authorizing leases with various nutrition sites throughout the county, amount not to exceed $118,481.57.
Move.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 669.
Interlocal Services Agreement with Atlantic County Improvement Authority to provide construction management services for the new warehouse facility located on Dolphin Avenue, Northfield, amount not to exceed $102,394.
Move.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto,
Second.
second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 670.
Developers Indemnity Agreement with Ventnor Plaza Limited Liability Company for the redevelopment of Ventnor Plaza and improvements to Wellington Avenue, County Route 629 at cost.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner, Ballas, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Can I just make one comment on this
Sure.
one here? The staff did a real good job on this one.
Because we've all received phone calls on this one.
And I wasn't gonna say that, but I know that you probably all have.
We did.
I know the exec got thousands of them, but this staff did a real good job on this one.
Great,
We won't beat this one to death, but I just wanted to say that
thank you.
I think they negotiated with the contract, and I think everybody worked out very.
Great,
Nice.
that's great. All's well that ends well.
Yes.
All right, please read 671.
Interlocal Services Agreement with Atlantic Cape Community College for the provision of energy training programs under the Atlantic City Electric Initiative, amount not to exceed $104,244.63.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Bertino. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 672.
Acceptance of deeds, easements from various grantors in accordance with Atlantic County planning standards.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 673.
Shared Services Agreement with Gloucester County for housing Gloucester County inmates at the Atlantic County Justice Facility, revenue generating.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Just should be noted that it's 10 inmates there.
Thanks.
Any discussion? Any public comment? Please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Patino.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 674.
Interlocal agreement with the city of Summers Point concerning preliminary and final design services for pedestrians and traffic improvements within the county right of way on Shore Road, County Route 585.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Public comments? Please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Patino.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 675.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with Rutgers State University of New Jersey for the provision of dental services to Atlantic County residents at the J.H. Cronin Dental Center and University Dental Center, amount not to exceed $107,500.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Patino.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes, please read 676.
Amending resolution number 392 adopted on July 18, 2023. A shared services agreement with Essex County for the housing of Atlantic County juveniles at the Essex County Juvenile Detention Center. Net increase $1,370,600.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? The only thing I would add is that the rate is $276 a day and doesn't include medical or education. So that's what it costs. They're the real hard numbers of
Or
government.
transportation.
Yeah, the real hard numbers of government costs. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Jerry, are they actual number or that's a, is that an actual number or that's a projected number?
The rate per day is the number.
This number is pretty close to what we think it was going to be.
Okay.
It's, I kept this on because I'm expecting this phone call.
Right.
I don't know if Tony was supposed to call me. So I kept this on because we had
I
these
understand.
resolutions, I'm sorry.
I understand.
I have been. I have been.
You go, okay. So anyway, I can shut it off then. But anyway, yeah, it's really close. Diana's been trying to keep a number of the kids that were there. So she tried to get as close as she can to this, and they just submitted the bills. I looked at them, but I had to tell you we're very close to this number.
And that's just in that facility. Is there
That's just that facility.
any other facilities that
Yeah,
we're
we have
housing juveniles in?
We have Bergen. We had Ocean.
Prosecutors.
We stopped and we were Jimmy sent a letter to them saying we're not gonna have anything after December 31st. So those are the facilities we have now.
And are we taking any in from other counties in our facility?
No, because we're limited to 20 kids and we had this overflow, we stopped. We were taking kids in from Salem, Cape May, and Cumberland. So we had to stop those contracts.
Any thoughts on increasing the size of that building? I mean, it seems like it's the number of incarcerated juveniles isn't going down.
No, we're looking at alternatives now, and so this is, we have to meet with a few people about these alternatives. I can tell you that the Juvenile Justice Commission came down and met with us. They actually asked me to get additional beds in other locations, and they wouldn't tell me why, but I guess Essex has other counties that it's servicing. And so we have the highest in terms of the size of our facility versus the number of kids we have. I think we have the highest in the state. We only have 20 beds in our facility, and we now presently have, I think today the count was 41.
Bigger
So
facility.
we're
21
averaging,
kids.
we're averaging double.
And these juveniles are our residents or they
They're Atlantic
committed
County
the crime
residents.
here? Okay.
They're all Atlantic County kids.
Yeah, it's just gonna continue. to
We
go
need a
up.
bigger facility.
Yes,
Simple as that.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
Simple as that.
for,
I mean, yes, but
a
like-
couple $1 million, you can build a bigger facility.
what else can we do to also stop them from
Oh,
engaging in
yeah.
terrible
Maybe
activity?
better parenting, maybe.
Look at the millions of dollars we spend in education, youth service commission
Yeah.
and everything else to try and
Mhm.
educate you know, the different programs to educate the youth to keep them out of incarceration. But, and they're coming from certain blocks of the county. And,
You never know.
hopefully it goes down.
We've met with the prosecutor and chief of detectives and had long conversations with them about the adult jail and youth detention, so I'm not gonna speak for them. You may want them to come in, but I mean, we had a pretty lengthy conversation.
But I'd rather have a bigger facility and not need it
Absolutely.
than keep spending the money for other counties to
Couldn't agree
build their
more.
facilities bigger. Plus, I mean, look at the expense of just, you know, transporting them back and forth. And just because you send them up there, every time they have a procedure, they have to come back down here to go in front of a judge or whatever. So it's a lot of money in transportation from county jail back and forth,
And I
or
think,
whoever's transporting them.
and it's better justice, I think. You know, having them here versus God knows where, what county.
Especially, you know, for their parents.
Right, it's better
They're
justice.
gonna visit them. They're all the way up Essex County.
Right, right. Better justice.
We're video visiting right now, but
Yeah.
that's not out. That's how it compares.
Not the same, not exactly. I wouldn't want that for my child, although I wouldn't want my child being
No.
in Barbara Fields.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 677.
Alternate method contract with Clarence Healthcare Incorporated for proprietary software subscription for maintaining and supporting wireless tablets to vulnerable older adults, amount not to exceed $58,800.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment on 677? If not, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. We have two resolutions coming up. We need to speak on them now, Jim?
Yes, we were originally going to ask that you push these back to the very end of the agenda and after the closed session that we want to have. But we're going to ask that these two resolutions be removed from the agenda. I'm disappointed to tell you that we had hoped to have come here today with some good news from the state of New Jersey, state health benefits plan. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You will recall that back in September 19th to be exact, we were here and this commission passed two resolutions, 531 and 532, which would have created a very novel approach to try to get better benefit coverage for our employees at reduced rates. And that was the proposal set forth by the Marsh McLennan Agency in coordination with the EB Employee Solutions, which sponsored the difference card. And the way that worked was the county would have everybody go to the NJ Direct 2035 plan, which is a higher deductible plan, but a lower cost plan. And that would have been coupled with a health reimbursement account that the county would have funded up to the amount of $15,120. And then that could be used by the employee when they go to a doctor. And if under Direct 2035, if the copay was $35, they would present the difference card and would pay the amount as if they had the New Jersey Direct 10 plan. And that would have been monitored by the difference card. And importantly, most importantly, that was combined with what was called a stop loss policy. That's a policy of insurance that would have been taken out by the difference card, which would have covered the county in the event that there was excessive usage of this, so that the amount that was budgeted was exceeded. So for instance, if the county budgeted $1 million for this project, and at the end of the term, say $1,500,000 was expended, the stop loss, we would go back to the difference card, they would make up that $500,000 difference, and then they would be covered by a policy of insurance that they would have gotten through a company called Assurant. That plan followed almost precisely the same program that had been approved by the State Health Benefits Program for Hunterdon County. Hunterdon County had the difference card, same type arrangement, and they were given approval back in late March to start a 9-month trial plan, which carried from April 1 through the end of this calendar year. We sort of piggybacked off that, and following the lead of the folks from Marsh McClellan, who by the way, I think them and the folks at the difference card really did a great job trying to put this together. We were led to believe that that was going to be approved. We sent all the documentation up to the State Health Benefits Plan, and lo and behold, on November 21st, Ms. Robbins, who is here and who has worked very, very diligently with me on this, got an email message from the director of the State Health Benefits Plan that they were not going to approve the plan as submitted, that we would have to go back to the drawing board. We got that, as I said, on November 21st, and we were told that, again, we would have to go back and revise things. We did that. We attempted to do that with the people from Marsh McClellan and the difference card. And the revised plan was for us to use the NJ Direct 2035 plan, again, with a funded HRA in the amount, again, of $15,120 per employee, where they would get all of the co-pays, deductibles, and co-insurances paid for. So it's like they're using the higher level plan, but getting a plan with no out-of-pocket costs. And that was to be done on a trial basis for a 1-year period. Again, coupled with now what was called a performance guarantee. The State Health Benefits Plan said you can't have a stop-loss policy. They're basically saying the same thing now with the performance guarantee. They're saying that that is other insurance or secondary insurance, which is not permitted under the State Health Benefits Plan regulations. It, in my humble opinion, is no such thing. It's not secondary insurance. It doesn't pay anything that's not covered through the plan. What it is protection for the county, so that if we go over budget on these plans, and that's what was explained to the state. In any event, we had a conference call with the lady up at the State Health Benefits Plan on November 29th. We hadn't yet submitted any documents, but we told her in detail what we planned to do. And they said, oh no, you can't do a performance guarantee. Can't have that. We then went back and submitted the resolution, the plan that was in the resolutions that were presented to you this afternoon. And that was coupled with where we would do the 2035 plan, coupled with the difference card and an HRA, but now we would only fund the HRA up to $4,000. And the reason for that was, with the $4,000, based on projections and all, we would not have needed a performance guarantee or a stop-loss policy, because the usage would have fit within the budget, and we knew we wouldn't be running over by a substantial amount. What that plan would have done is, you use the 2035 plan, and you can then use the HRA and get all of your deductibles, co-pays, and all covered up to the extent of the $4,000. If the $4,000 from the HRA is used up, then the employee would bear the burden of anything over that. I think the individual plan, the amount is $7,560 out of pocket per individual. So that if I, as an individual, use that plan, I would have everything covered, all of my co-pays, deductibles, or whatever, up to the extent of that $4,000. Once that was used up, then if I have further treatments and have to pay, I would be responsible for that additional $3,560. Once that is met, then the state health benefits plan would have to cover everything after that in its entirety. The problem we had was we sent out revised contract addenda to each of the unions, and the responses we've gotten back so far, and that turnaround happened in a couple of days, where I literally went back and rewrote these contract addenda that they're requiring from all of the unions. Now, what we've heard back so far was that of the responses we've gotten, only one union, it was a very small union, has rejected the funding of the HRA at $4,000. And I had discussions today with Jerry and Tammy, and we don't believe that we can afford to fund the HRA at a figure of $15,120 without some either stop loss or performance guarantee, and the state is not allowing that. And we got word on this because I sent to Tara. Tara's been great today, but I came here with two alternative resolutions that I would put before you if we had gotten the word that the performance guarantee was going to be accepted, either in the first version of the plan using the tie-in to New Jersey Direct 10, or the one with the no cost alternative, which was the second. And this afternoon, Mr. Tony Mahone, and he was here back in September, wrote, and this was at 4:17 this afternoon, just got word that the performance guarantee is not approved. So this is extremely disappointing. And the people up at State Health Benefits, literally, it seems, shifted positions. Every time you turn around, we had gotten word this morning that it looked like they were going to allow a performance guarantee. And then after a series of meetings that they had today with Hunterdon County, they've apparently decided that they're not going to approve the performance guarantee. So for us, it's back to the drawing board. We're going to have to put people back into the plans. There were 394 of us, the county administrator, myself, both included in that, who agreed to switch to the 2035 plan and use the difference card. We will now have to go back into the plans that we are currently in. And the union employees, I think that of the 394, there were 333 represented employees who agreed to the proposal we originally set forth. And now, unfortunately, they're going to have to revert back to the plans that they had selected under their collective bargaining agreements. Disappointing.
Does that mean the contract becomes reopened?
What's that?
Does that mean these contracts become reopened?
No.
Okay.
No.
What it does mean though is that we originally figured, the 2035 plan, you remember, lower cost plan reduced our health benefits line item. Now we go back in and we take the full, whatever it is, 7.7%.
I've got to tell you, in my 20 years as county council, I've dealt with the state on any number of things, and they're not the easiest people in the world to deal with. But this really was next to impossible. This is just no way to run an organization. Quite frankly, and I'll say this publicly for the record, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They're brushing aside novel approaches that could really help employees and lower the cost of insurance. And I'll leave it at that before I say something that I'll regret saying, but
Thank
we're
you.
extremely disappointed.
Mr. Chairman, do you think it's would it be helpful in any way if the board were to leave the option of a special meeting if the wind's blowing in a different direction tomorrow or whatever the
That-
scenario may be? Or you
That,
think
that's possible. That's
is it
possible.
I mean, because they could adopt the ability to do it, but not necessarily have it if it's not needed, but I'm just
That's-
thinking if tomorrow there's a different, I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, and I'm asking you, not telling you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if, you know, again, we've taken up a lot of time on this thing. We did back on September 19th. I'm taking up a lot of time right now. But yes, that might be advisable to at least have that in our back pocket if we would need that extra session where we would come in here, hopefully on December 12th and address only the healthcare issue at a special meeting. But again, I leave that up to you. Do I feel confident that that's gonna
No.
work out that way? I don't think so.
Okay.
You know,
You decide what you want to do as a board then. I just wanted to see what Jim's thought was, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Mr. Chair?
yes.
Jim, have we explored options outside of the state health care
we
with
have,
private insurances?
we have, there are a couple of what they call a health insurance fund or HIPs. There's private plans, Tammy can elucidate on this more, but we've gone down that road, but due to our,
Write that one down.
what I think they refer to as the loss ratio, our figures are so high versus what we pay in premium that several private entities or these HIPs have looked at us and they said, no, we just can't do it. So at this point, we're stuck with the state health benefits plan and they're just not being real cooperative. You know, almost 24% increase last year, almost an 8% increase going into calendar year 2024, and it's probably going to continue on that way, unfortunately.
We are a southern county. That's
Yes.
to our detriment. What are you gonna do?
Yes.
Commissioner Gatto.
Just a question, Mr. Chair, like, I don't know if you or county exec has engaged our state representatives on this, because I feel like this needs to get some serious attention. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
The state of New Jersey would not know a performance guarantee, a service level agreement if it slapped them in the face.
No.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. So has the exec reached out to,
Exactly,
Senator
as far as I
Rossi
know,
now, or-
as far as I know, I'm not sure if he has or not.
all
I
right.
know we've had lots of conversation, with the executive about this.
Yeah, then I would maybe want the board to either draft a letter or have a resolution for our next meeting, you know, urging them to get involved and somehow
Yes, it should certainly come from
make
the
a change.
county
One
executive.
other thing I should point out, when those big increases came last year, the governor right away sat down with the unions that represent state employees.
Yeah, they
And cut
fixed
a
their
deal with
problem.
them where their rate only went up 3.3%, but did nothing for county governments or local municipalities. That is just unfair.
Well, that's what I'm
Patently
saying.
unfair.
That's what I'm saying. And now we've spent all this additional time, effort, and energy to come up with solutions, get our employees, get behind the idea as part of contract negotiations. I mean, this is like absolutely ludicrous and we should all be outraged. And our state officials should be outraged as well.
Well, certainly, I'm sure Gary will be talking with Denny as far as marshaling the support.
Well, I would like this body to do something.
We
Chairman.
can do that too. We can do that too. Yeah,
I agree.
and
Thank you.
you want us to temporarily put a resolution through for a tentative date of next Tuesday, the 12th?
If all of you, and I know it's holiday season and all like that, and but if that's
should do it.
possible, just in case
Well, then,
things do change, I'm
believe
not
it-
sure that they will.
right, I believe our solicitor has prepared one.
It's on the
Yes,
agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Rick told me, and I appreciate what he's done.
All right, so do we need a motion to withdraw these two resolutions?
Do we table or?
I guess.
Okay, what do we do?
I would just make a motion to table them, pending further action by the board, whether it's a subsequent
Yeah, I guess it would be at the special meeting.
I move as stated by our solicitor.
Yeah, motion to table pending special meeting.
We have to take them one at a time, or can we group them together, Rick?
Oh, that's a good point. They were not introduced.
No,
Um,
they gotta be introduced before they can be tabled.
No. Alright, you make a motion to table.
We just withdraw them.
Whatever you wanna
If
do.
we withdraw them, then, you know, you don't have to take any action on a motion to table.
All right,
It's like they didn't come before
all right.
before the commissioners.
yeah, and that works because the special meeting resolution allows for you to look at any resolutions necessary to address the HRA card issue.
Then we
Move
need a
to
motion
withdraw
then.
678,
withdraw
679.
Right, thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded. The withdrawal of 678 and 679. Any discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for indulging me with the explanation.
We appreciate the work you put into this very much, very much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
do we need to do a resolution for you to write a letter or again, to engage our state representatives? I don't want this to just go by the wayside.
No, of course not, but I don't know what the timeline's gonna be on that. You know, we can write a letter, but we need a response now. And I'm sure the county executive is on this, and,
I guess we'll
he can certainly compose a letter, you know, carbon copying our legislative people. Moving on, we have our chapter 159s. There's we'll entertain a motion to adopt 680 to 683.
move.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Bertino. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Okay. We also have appointments, 684 through 687.
Move to combine and adopt.
Thank you. Moved by Commissioner Gatto,
Second.
second by Commissioner Kern. Any discussion on these? Any public comment? Just that we thank those that have come forward to, again, serve the county. Appreciate it. Any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. That's 688. If you need a sponsor, you can put my name on, Tara. Sponsor for it. Please read 688.
Resolution setting the date, time, and place of the annual reorganization meeting of the Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
So do we need to do 689 amended to say December 12th or?
That's my next question. You want to solicitor?
Withdrawing that one too.
Right, so. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so Mr. Chairman, before we're sort of going out of order here, I didn't realize that the special meeting resolution is not on the agenda, right? So I think you need a motion to add it and consider it,
All right.
and we'll circulate it. And it's for the purposes of you all and the public knowing what it is. It is simply allowing for a special meeting on December 12th at 4 PM if needed, and appropriate postings will go out simply to discuss the HRA card issue that was just discussed by Mr. Ferguson. So if you need to take action, that would be the date it happens, and nothing else will occur at that meeting. So a motion to consider, what was it, the resolution 690 is what you need.
Move as stated by our solicitor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on it? Any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
What are we doing with 689?
Yeah, we tabling 689.
Withdrawing that too?
No.
No, we're gonna have that still. I just
Different
didn't,
topic.
yeah, I wanted to deal with it before we went into a closed session, that's all.
now read this to the.
Yeah, that-
Yes, yeah, and now she's gonna read it and you're gonna vote it in. Make sense?
Resolution establishing a special meeting to consider action necessary to establish an NJ Direct 2035 plan with an HRA difference card and setting the time, date, place, and date and purpose for the meeting.
I thought we just did that, but I guess
Yeah,
we
I
just
thought we
added
did.
it.
Yeah, you just added to the agenda.
I move as read.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Public comment? Call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Okay. We'll have public comment now.
But wait, what about 689?
Well, that's closed session. After we're done public comment.
Oh, okay.
All right. So now we'll open the meeting officially to the public for anyone who'd like to speak on any topic. Anyone online? No? And we'll close the public portion.
Oh, wait.
We're gonna close it temporarily to go to your,
Yes.
But
your
we
closed
just
session.
skipped a whole section of the agenda.
No, you're coming-
Now I'm confused.
Well, my assumption, and you know what happens when you assume, is you're gonna come back when we come out of the meeting and go through the rest of it. That's what I believe you're doing, but I'm not gonna tell you.
I'm not questioning, you know what you're doing or not, but it seems weird to skip.
We're gonna go into
'Cause
executive
we have to
session.
open back up to the public anyway when we come back.
That's correct.
Yep.
That's correct.
All right, it just seemed wrong.
There'll be just as much public here then.
I know. It's just confusing to not follow the agenda order.
Yep.
All right. Now we're down to resolution 689.
Resolution authorizing a closed session regarding pending or anticipated litigation and or contract negotiation.
Moved by Commissioner Bertino, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion. Did you want to comment briefly on why we're going into executive session?
Not on the public record.
Okay.
So
Don't we usually have to give it?
It's a sensitive topic.
I think it's fair to say you're going into public, or, I'm sorry, closed session pursuant to the laws and are legitimate and valid, discussions to have that shouldn't be available.
That's what it says in the resolution.
Okay,
Anticipated litigation.
all right. Very good. Any further discussion? Public comment?
He's got it.
Then call the roll then.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, okay. We'll now go into closed session. All right, we're back in public session.
So for the record, you voted to close the executive session and go open back up to public.
Correct. Correct. And now we're at the point of our agenda for reports of special committees of the board. Anyone have any committee reports? All right, we'll move right along. It's late, I know. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Excuse me, Mr. Bowes.
Yeah, just trying to see if we can get an update on the flashing beacons for the fire departments. They keep asking about them. Well, I guess they're not gonna be done. Anything's gonna be done before the end of the year, there.
So they've ordered all.
Still waiting for the parts to come in, right? So we're,
You heard about the generator, yeah, what you're waiting for. As soon as they come in, they'll start ordering or installing.
Any unfinished business? Any new business?
I'd like to,
Yes.
I guess I'll bring this up here. There was, at our last meeting, there was talk of, you know, there not being enough toys for the holidays for our residents here in Atlantic County. So a few local organizations contacted me, and something started to come together. There's going to be a toy drive, December 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Kingpin Lane. They're asking to bring toys, unwrapped toys for ages 0 to 18. Anyone that comes will bowl for free. We have sponsors for that. Some of the organizations came in. I spoke to the 177th, and we're making arrangements to make sure that they absolutely get their toys first. So we have a list of families, names, and kids that are short. And so Hiram Biff, my lodge stepped up and they're gonna be a part of it. I know Flex is gonna be a part of it and a couple more organizations. The contact information, you can call 609-992-6047 for any information. And ask for Miss Nisha Parker. And there's going to, like I said, that's gonna be on the 17th. So the 177 will be out there. I know that the Legion Riders are gonna be a part. They put it out in their circles. I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen with Toys for Tots and Toys for Kids. There's still some information, phone calls that I have to make sure what's going to go on there. But we did stipulate that all the toys, the first priority would go to the 177th, and then the rest of the toys would stay here for families of Atlantic County.
Yeah, I did contact Toys for Tots. I'm just trying to find for Atlantic County. They said they are gonna have one distribution at the Hamilton Mall. Just trying to find that date.
Can I speak on that?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, you all know I work at the food bank in the daytime.
Right.
Today we had the Absecon volunteer firemen bring 2 captains and a chief a lot of food, and they also said they also collect toys for kids, and they're dispersing too, probably from the fire department, I guess.
Outstanding.
Since you mentioned that, I thought I'd mention that.
Outstanding.
Because I'm trying to help,
That's
you
a
know, I helped
wonderful
you,
thing.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Parker, with the food bank, and I talked to the health, forgot her name, from upstairs. I got to get her card out over there so they can help, people can get healthcare here, who come in line for food. We can kind of, I'm trying to get everybody connected because I work there and work here, and it helps, you know, all of
That's
us.
great.
It all helps.
And I'm an Atlantic County resident and Atlantic City resident my whole life.
It all helps. It all helps. I want to thank all the organizations while I have a chance that stepped up because they watched our meeting and my phone started ringing immediately when we got out of here. So, you know, I started making phone calls and trying to put something together, and this is what came together. So I want to thank all those organizations that contacted me, that care enough to think about other families other than themselves. I know the 177th, speaking with them, they're excited about it and they're very extremely thankful and appreciative. So that's what I know, and I just wanted to make sure that I put that on the record. So please come out, enjoy yourselves, bowl, and just bring an unwrapped toy.
I have 2 items in a new business. First of all, I want to mention that Commissioner Ballas and I represented the county at the Crime Stoppers, and of course, Will Reynolds, our county prosecutor, was honored, and of course, Toys for Kids, Greg DiPiano and his team were honored. So that was a nice evening, rather long but nice. Also, let's see, I also want to mention too, this Thursday, 10:30 at our National Aviation Research and Technology Park. They're gonna do a meeting, update us on things that are going on there at the park with the state of New Jersey. So the Atlantic County Economic Alliance team will be there, and of course, the representatives from the State Office of Planning Advocacy will be there this Thursday at 10:30 to 1:30. If you can make it, it'll be a briefing on the plans for development here in Atlantic County. So great event if you can make it on Thursday the 7th.
Will the Atlantic County Economic Alliance come give us a maybe 30-minute briefing instead of a 3-hour briefing?
Sure we can. Well, that includes lunch.
Well, for the working stiffs, maybe they could come here and give everybody a quick update.
I'm sure they will. But this is between the ACA and the state of New Jersey. So this is a sales pitch to New Jersey as well, because we want New Jersey government on board 100% with this. Anything else on the new business? Okay. Written communications petitions. Okay, we're in the public comment section. Being up to the public, anyone would like to speak online or in person, now's your chance. If not, we'll close the public portion and we're into the good of the order. Anyone have any items for the good of the order? If not, I ask for a motion for adjournment. Moving second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries.